In the world of productivity, there is no shortage of hacks and tactics. And while some of these might be helpful, others are simply untrue and even harmful. That's why in this video, we're going to be covering 3 productivity myths that could be holding you back. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jorge Calauz. I'm a business lawyer based in Florida, specializing in high stakes lawsuits. And in this channel, we explore the principles and the strategies to help us live more productive, meaningful, and fulfilling lives. Productivity myth number 1, you need a packed schedule to be productive. I like to think of this one in the way that I think about muscle growth. Our muscles don't grow during exercise, they actually grow during recovery and rest periods. Our muscles actually experience microscopic tears when we work out, and then those muscles get rebuilt when we rest and we recover. In my opinion, this process applies to life as a whole. Another example of this that's not physical but intellectual or mental is the stories of Sir Isaac Newton or Albert Einstein. Sir Isaac Newton was famously described as having come up with the theory of gravity when an apple fell from a tree when he was just sitting by the tree. And Einstein's also been credited with coming up with some of his ideas while he was walking down, for example, a railroad. And so it was in these moments of relaxation that a lot of these great ideas came into these geniuses' minds. That's the reason why Bill Gates famously takes think weeks, where he effectively just leaves for an entire week and doesn't do anything but think. And so the point is that if we have too packed of a schedule, we're never able to step away from the trees and look at the forest. And if we're not able to look at the forest, we're just moving through the trees with no idea where it is we're actually going. And it would really suck if we spent a lot of time doing a bunch of things only to get somewhere that wasn't even where we wanted to get to in the first place. Or even if it was where we wanted to get to, we could have gotten there faster if we had taken a step back and allowed ourselves to recharge. A more recent example that I came across a few weeks ago was the example of Elon Musk telling the story on Joe Rogan's podcast about how he plays Diablo. Now, regardless of whether you love Elon Musk, hate Elon Musk, love Joe Rogan, hate Joe Rogan, it's pretty hard to debate that Elon Musk is a very productive man given all the businesses that he runs. So what he was saying on that podcast is not just that he plays Diablo, but I think he's the number 2 ranked player in the United States and the number 19th ranked player in the world in that video game, which is insane considering that millions of people play that video game. And this guy who has so much pressure on his shoulders and deals with so many things at once is the number 2 ranked player in the United States. And so what he said about the game is that the difficulty allows his mind to get completely absorbed in the game so that he can take a step back, a step away from everything that he's dealing with, and then go back to it with a fresh mind. In other words, don't underestimate the power of a little bit of play. Productivity myth number 2, you need to get up early to be productive. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of a caveat on this myth because I think that most people are more productive if they get up earlier, but that doesn't apply to all people. And so the point of this is that we don't just want to follow things that people tell us. If somebody tells us get up early in the morning, we don't want to just blindly follow it because somebody told us to do it. We want to understand ourselves and learn about ourselves and figure out what our peak hours of energy are and make sure that we are working during those hours. It's more important to understand how we work and optimize ourselves than it is to blindly follow things that other people are telling you that you should do. And so again, I will give the complete caveat that I think most people would be more productive if they woke up earlier in the morning. I know, me personally, I'm so much more productive when I wake up early in the morning, particularly if it's just a little bit before the sun comes out. So I wake up around 6 and the sun doesn't come out until like 6:30 or 7, depending on the time of year. Getting up before the sun like that gives me a little bit of a psychological edge that's a little bit hard to describe. But what it also does is that it gives me an entire 3 hours before 9 o'clock hits and the world starts working. And so once I go through my morning routine from 6 to 7 or 6 to 7:30, those 2 hours or 1.5 hours between 7 and 9 or 7:30 and 9 are some of the most productive hours that I have in my entire day. And not only are they some of the most productive hours that I have in my entire day, but those hours allow every other hour in the day to be infinitely more productive, because oftentimes what I'm doing in that first hour and a half to 2 hours is getting everything together, doing the most important things. And once those are done and once I'm organized, everything else just flows so much more smoothly. And so I will tell you that for me, waking up early really does work. But I know for some people, they just can't do it. Their body doesn't work like that. I actually had to look this up because I didn't remember it off the top of my head, but there's these things called chronotypes that describe what kind of circadian rhythm you naturally have. And so the 3 chronotypes are bear, lion, and wolf. And so bears wake up with the sun. Lions wake up earlier than the sun, around 5 a.m. And wolves like to wake up later, like 10 a.m. Now, the most common chronotype is bear, and then you also have lions, which is why I said that most people would be more productive if they woke up somewhat early in the morning. But you need to understand yourself, and you need to understand if you are a wolf. I know people that are hyper successful that stay up super late and wake up pretty late. I can't do that. I will just feel burned out all the time. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you don't want to blindly follow some productivity guru or some personal development guru if that thing that they're telling you to do doesn't actually work for you. You know yourself in a way that nobody else knows you. And so it's more important to adopt self-awareness and understand which tactics and strategies to adopt into your life than it is to just blindly follow something and believe you're doing something when in reality, let's say you're a wolf and you're waking up at 5:30 because your favorite guru told you to, and it's actually hurting you. So anyways, don't fall into the myth that there's a one-size-fits-all approach to productivity, to high performance, or to life. Try all these different things that people are telling you, but at the end of the day, figure out what works best for you and then keep doing more of that. Also, it's not necessarily about the time you start, but how you use your time. And so if waking up early helps you use your time better, that's great. It does for me. If it doesn't, then I wouldn't stress too much about it. And when you're thinking about how you use your time, remember to focus on your peak energy hours. Like I said before, for me, that's between 7:30 and 10-ish. Now, while we're on that topic of not blindly following gurus and doing what they say without thinking about it, productivity myth number 3 kind of ties into that. Productivity myth number 3 is that watching productivity videos will make you more productive. Watching productivity videos will not make you more productive. I know this is ironic because this is technically a productivity video, but the fact is that knowledge is not power. Knowledge applied is power. Knowledge that sits in your head and doesn't get used is not power. This is one of the reasons that I oftentimes include action steps at the end of my videos, and oftentimes it makes up this entire second half of the video is just action steps to help you implement what we just spent the first half of the video talking about. And even if I don't do that, like in a video like this, I tend to give some form of little action steps or ideas of what the action steps could be throughout the video, so you can not just understand the concept, but also have a plan to incorporate the principles and the strategies into your own life. So one thing that you can do is every time that you watch a video or every time that you read a book, find just one thing, maybe make it a small thing if you're reading a lot of books and watching a lot of videos, but just find one thing that you can say, I'm gonna implement that, and then go implement it, go test it, see how it works, see how it doesn't work, see how it can be adjusted. Maybe it doesn't need to be adjusted at all. Maybe it works perfectly for you. Maybe your guru got it right on point. But either way, test these different things out, see what works for you, remove what doesn't, keep what does, upgrade what does if it can be upgraded, but keep doing more of what works. But simply watching the productivity videos is not something that works. Watching the productivity videos is a precursor for what works, which is taking action. No change happens unless you take action. Now, if you like this video on these 3 productivity myths, I think you'll really enjoy this video on 3 time management myths that could be ruining your productivity. And as always, if you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more of it, and if you want to join the community, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn the notification bell on so that you're updated every single Saturday when we put out videos like this. And also don't forget to check out the link in the description box below where you can sign up for my weekly email newsletter where I send you content like this every Monday via email to get you started for the week. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.